What is up, y'all? It is currently 11:41 p.m. I brought my iPad so I could show y'all the time. Let's check that out. And this isn't going to be a long video at all, as I'm sure you could see from the time of this video, the length. I'm just recording this video just to basically say a couple things. Some things that were on my heart, on my mind. I gave myself a lot of goals for this new year, and it's been pretty hard to be consistent in them. And I could give a million excuses at the end of the day as to why this has been. And I think the most valuable lesson I've learned in these January 9th, so in these 9 days, is that God probably doesn't care about our goals as much as we do. And he probably just doesn't give them as much importance as we do. And I don't know about y'all, but when I struggle a lot with when something falls out of line in terms of this like tight schedule and like checklist I have for my daily life routine, it just affects me in a very big way. Where I'm just like short with other people, or I'm just not as loving as I should be. And I think that's when it starts getting dangerous. That's when I start idolizing my goals over actually being a practicing Christian and showing love to others, as ridiculous as that sounds. And so I think a big thing I've learned is that I don't think it's a sin necessarily to have these goals and to have these, things you want to reach. But if you sacrifice your relationship with God and with others, which God has given you, then it truly is in vain. I haven't always known what goals to follow, what paths to take, but I've always known to follow God. And so that has to mean something. The fact that God has stayed constant in the midst of my changing goals, my changing desires over the years, can only show what we actually have to put our eyes to. Everything else is just so fluid. Everything else is always just so ever-changing. Our emotions, the way our lives go, how we react to things. If we just put full dependence on that, I just don't think that's a very fruit-bearing life. And I don't want to take up too much of y'all's time. I know it is almost midnight. Not that, a whole bunch of y'all are watching this right now. But if you are watching this right now, that means I literally just recorded this if you're watching this right now. And I don't know if you have felt something similar, especially with the start of a new year. I think it was a good reminder for me to really keep the main thing the main thing. Everything else, we're not taking anything else when we die. As much as we want to believe that to be true, but it is not. And so ask yourself tonight, all these goals, desires, ambitions that I have, what's the end goal? Why do I have them? And I think that's going to give you your answer on whether or not you're truly pursuing what you should be. Because time, energy, effort, your skills, your abilities, they're all a gift from God. Doesn't mean you should use them to sin. Doesn't mean you should use them as a way to prioritize things over God. See, if you're putting more time into your dream to be whatever, into your X amount money goal, if you're putting more time into that than just simply being in the Word, or being in prayer, or going to church and being in community and serving God's body, then something is wrong. And if your mind is thinking more on the things of this world, then something is wrong. And if your actions are portraying a person who wants to rise to the top of the financial, corporate, status tower, but not the top of connection with God, then something is wrong. See, our lives aren't meant to be the best they can be here, but they're meant to be a full reflection and worship of God. Doesn't mean, getting fit, getting healthy, getting your money up is wrong. I don't think that's a sin. But I think when that becomes the end goal, with no essence of God in that conversation, then I think it's wrong. Then I think we need to have a conversation. Then I think something's missing. Well, it's getting kind of late. It's almost midnight. And I think I'll just end with this. And I don't really know why I'm saying this, but I just kind of feel like I should. If you have been feeling alone, and I'm not talking about, your buddies haven't reached out in a couple days, or you haven't hung out with those people in a couple days. No, I'm talking about a loneliness that comes from being with a group of people and still feeling like you're not there. Or being in conversation and feeling like you're not even listening. I'm talking about that type of loneliness. My reminder to you tonight is the God who formed you from the dust has thought about every single event in your life. He has thought about every single moment of pain, of joy, of sorrow, of laughter. Every single moment has been intricately planned out in the hands of the Creator. And so if you feel alone, again, that deep loneliness, the Creator has never forgotten your name. Other people may forget that you have needs. Other people may forget that you are a person. But the Creator never forgets His creation, because no one loves us like the Creator. And no one ever will. Well, good night, y'all.